Hi, this is Ajay Anand and welcome to Science Classes from excelup.com. In this lesson, you will learn about morphology and anatomy of frog, and this lesson has been taken from class 11th biology. Let us begin with morphology. Frogs, they are olive green in color on the dorsal surface, and the ventral surface is pale yellow in color. The common frog which we see around us is scientifically known as Rana tigrina, or scientific name of common frog is Rana tigrina. Frogs have ability of camouflage, which means it can change its body color according to the surrounding. So this helps it in evading the predators. You must have seen that frogs are generally seen during the rainy season, and they do not appear during harsh summer season or winter season, because they go into long sleep during winters and summers. The summer sleep is called estivation and winter sleep is called hibernation. Frogs are poikilotherm, which means frogs are cold blooded animals, which means that frog cannot control its body temperature. It has to depend on the environmental temperature. Okay, the body of the frog is divided into two parts, head and trunk. There is no neck, neither a tail. There are four limbs. The hind limbs, they have 5 digits each, and the four limbs have 4 digits. The hind limb is longer and stronger, more muscular compared to the forelimb. At the anterior most portion of the head, there are 2 nostrils which serve as a passage for air for respiration. Then behind the nostrils, there is a pair of eyes, one on either side, and there is a transparent membrane called nictitating membrane, which covers the eye when the frog is underwater. So it works in the same way as goggles. They work for a swimmer in the swimming pool. So frogs have natural goggles. Then there is a tympanum behind the eye, and the tympanum is the ear of frog. The frogs, they show sexual dimorphism. The male frog has a vocal sac which helps it in producing the croaking sound. The sound is not produced by the females. Females, they cannot produce sounds. Then the male frog has a copulatory pad on first digit of forelimbs. So this helps it in getting hold of the female during copulation. So this is all about the morphology part. Let us switch over to the anatomy of frog. This diagram shows the internal organs of a frog. So you can see all the internal organs, they are in the same body cavity. So these are liver, lungs, gallbladder, this is the digestive system, these are kidneys. Okay, so the difference between the body of a human and that of a frog is that in case of human body, there are 3 separate cavities. The chest cavity, it contains lungs and heart. The abdominal cavity contains the kidneys and digestive system, and there is the pelvic region, okay, which contains some part of the urinary system. Okay, so now let us first focus on the digestive system of frog. It contains an alimentary canal and some accessory glands. The alimentary canal begins with an esophagus, which is followed by a stomach. Stomach is followed by intestine, and intestine is followed by rectum. Rectum opens out through cloaca. Since frogs are carnivorous, so intestine is very small in length, and there are 2 portions in the intestine. The anterior portion is called duodenum. Okay. Now the liver produces bile, and the bile is stored in gallbladder, from where it is sent forward as per the need, and the pancreas produces the pancreatic juice. Digestion, it begins from the stomach, where hydrochloric acid and gastric juice, they play important role in digestion. After that, a common hepatopancreatic duct, that is a duct which carries secretions from liver and pancreas. It is connected to the duodenum, the anterior portion of the intestine, where bile and pancreatic juice, they play their roles. The bile emulsifies the fat so that enzymes can work in a better way, more efficiently on the fat. And enzymes of pancreatic juice, they digest fat, carbohydrate and protein. Once intestine is over, the food moves to the later portion of the intestine, where finger-like ingrowths are there in the inner wall of the intestine, and they are called villi and microvilli. These structures, they absorb the components of food, and after that undigested food and waste material, it goes into the rectum, from where it is pushed out from time to time. Okay. Then let us see how is the excretory system of frog. The excretory system of frog contains a pair of kidneys, ureters and urinary bladder. The functional unit of kidney is nephron, where blood is filtered, waste material is filtered from the blood and excretory product is made. The major excretory product in a frog is urea. So, frogs are kept under the category of ureotelic animals. Okay. Respiration in frog. There are two modes of respiration in frog. One is called cutaneous, that is respiration through skin, and another is called pulmonary respiration, that is respiration through lungs. So, when the frog is in water, it breathes through its skin, and when it is on land, then the lungs, they facilitate respiration. Okay. When the frog is in hibernation, then also there is cutaneous respiration. This diagram shows the pulmonary respiration in frog. So, what happens? The air enters through nostril, it goes into the buccal cavity, and then it goes into the lungs, where gaseous exchange takes place. After that, air goes out. Okay. The circulatory system of frog is composed of a heart, arteries, veins and blood. The blood contains different cells like RBCs, WBCs and platelets. The RBCs in frog, they have nucleus. The arteries, they are the blood vessels which supply blood from heart to different organs of the body, and veins are the blood vessels which supply blood from different portions of the body to the heart. The heart of the frog has three chambers. There are two auricles or atria, and there is a ventricle. Okay. On the dorsal surface, a triangular sac-like structure, it is connected to the auricle, and this structure is called sinus venosus, and this is the place where deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body comes, and then the blood is sent to the right auricle. From the right auricle, the blood goes to the lungs, where oxygenation takes place, and then the oxygenated blood, it comes to the left auricle. From there, the blood goes to the ventricle, and then the ventricle pumps blood to different parts of the body through a structure that is called truncus arteriosus, and this is on the ventral side of the heart. Apart from this, there are portal systems also in the body of a frog, and they are hepatic portal system and renal portal system. There is a network of veins which connects intestine to veins, liver, and this network is called hepatic portal system. And in case of renal portal system, the veins, they go from kidneys to lower parts of the body. Control and coordination in frog. The frogs, they have nervous control as well as hormonal control. The hormones, they are produced by various endocrine glands, and the names of these glands are pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid, thymus, pineal, pancreas, adrenal glands, and gonads. Gonads means testes and ovary. Okay. The nervous system has three parts. Number one is central nervous system, number two is peripheral nervous system, and number three is autonomous nervous system. The central nervous system is composed of the brain and a spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system is composed of cranial nerves and spinal nerves. The nerves which go to the head region, they are called cranial nerves. There are 10 pairs of cranial nerves, and the nerves which go to the portion which is below the head, they are called spinal nerves. Autonomous nervous system is of two types: sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Okay. This figure shows the structure of brain of a frog. The brain can be divided into three portions: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. The forebrain is composed of two olfactory lobes, then there are two cerebral hemispheres and one diencephalon. The midbrain is composed of a pair of optic lobes, okay, and the hindbrain is composed of cerebellum and medulla. And medulla, it goes out through a foramen or a hole in the skull and continues into the spinal cord. The skull is also called cranium or brain box because brain is enclosed and protected inside this bony enclosure. Reproductive system of frog. Frogs are monoecious, which means the male frog is different and the female one is different. This diagram shows the male reproductive system of frog. There is a pair of testes, and each testis is attached to a kidney with the help of a double peritoneum or membrane, which is called mesorchium. Then from each testis 10 or 12 thin tubes they emerge, and these tubes are called vasa efferentia. The vasa efferentia, they enter the kidney and open into Bidder's canal, which is inside the kidney. So there is a connection between the reproductive system and urinary system. So the ureter, it serves as the urinogenital tract. So in male frog, the reproductive system is connected to urinary system. Okay. This diagram shows the female reproductive system of frog. Unlike the male reproductive system, there is no connection between urinary system and reproductive system in case of female frogs. There is a pair of ovaries, then there is a pair of oviducts, and these are not connected at all to the urinary system in case of females. That is the difference. Now let us see how does the reproduction take place. The female frog, it releases around 2500 to 3000 ova at one go, and the male frog releases sperms on the ova. So fertilization takes place outside the body in water. So this is external fertilization. The cluster of fertilized eggs is called spawn. These eggs, they develop into tadpoles. So tadpoles, they do not appear like frogs. They appear like a small fish with a tail. Okay. Then the tadpole undergoes metamorphosis, and after metamorphosis it becomes a frog. So this is all about the life cycle of frog. That's all about this lesson. Thank you.